Okay, so picking up from where we were, humour. I'm going to be away the next day or so, currently at the time of filming this, but I've got these backlogged to come out every second day, so that's good because it means I won't be missing out on like uploading these videos. Okay, so humour. This section focuses on hints and technicalities of putting comic strips together rather than teaching you how to be funny or how to write comic strips. Um, However, having said that, I gladly pass a piece of advice given to me when I first dreamed of drawing a comic. Think of something funny, then work backwards. Start, middle, tag. Yeah, you probably already remember that from one of my previous chapters I read. The tag is, the end of the joke. So, yeah. In other words, know where your story is going. Know the tag first, then construct your lead up. You'll find that it is the easiest way to work, either on a daily Sunday or even a comic book. Yeah, either on a daily, a Sunday, or even a comic book. Once you have worked out the last panel, you'll know exactly what's needed to fill in the rest. So that's pretty good advice. As an example, let's take a joke. First person, I hear your dad ran his old car into a light pole. Second person, yeah. First person, is he okay? Second person, I'll say he is. He did $300 worth of improvements. Take a piece of scrap paper and scribble out 3 panels. Put the tag in the last one. So there. That leaves us 2 panels in which to find a home for the rest of the joke. There it is there. I won't read it out again, but you can see how he's laid it out. Easy. The same rules apply for Sundays and comic books. So, pretty cool stuff. Plotting your stories. Always work out your stories on scrap paper long before you put them on a bright, new, and possibly expensive piece of artboard. Not only should you use a bit of rough paper to plot in your dialogue, but you can work out the placement, shape, and composition of your pictures at the same time. The Ginger Meg strip on page 40 would have begun looking something like this. Yeah, so it's like a real rough sketch up there. It's pretty cool. It's showtime. If you looked closely at the Ginger Meg's rough on page 48, you will have noticed I use various cinema terminology, words such as too short and close up. That's because I believe every strip I draw is a little movie and I'm the director. So you can pretty much do like storyboards. If you do a good enough comic like this, there it's got see how he's got close up Kelly there. That means like it tells you the different sort of angle, like camera angles. You might want to Google sort of camera sort of shots and things, like different sorts of, you got like close-up shot and establishing shot and all sorts of different things. So if that's something you're interested in, I highly recommend you look that up. We learned a lot about that when I went to university, and yeah, it was quite cool. And if you do like a good enough comic, you can actually turn it into an animation later on if you lay it out properly, or make a film or whatever. So yeah. Right, who are we up to? Yeah, just as a movie would be dull and boring if it was all filmed as a wide shot, so would a comic strip. There was a time when filmmakers and comic strip artists used to do everything on a wide shot, but after experimenting, they found the public liked a variety of shots and angles. You may not have thought about it before, but the combinations of two shots, reverses, close-ups, crowd shots, and so on may be the reason you have either liked or disliked a particular comic strip or movie. Um, Next time you're in the cinema, take note of the technique of the director and see if you can translate his movie making ideas to your comic strip. Yeah, it does kind of ruin movies for you sometimes though, because you can see the shots that I've used, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. It doesn't. I guess it doesn't really ruin it. It's still fun to watch if you're really passionate about it. Shapes. Apart from the type of comic strip you decide to draw, another important factor to consider is the size and shape of the strip. If you want to sell it, a comic strip must conform to the standard width and length of the newspapers and magazines in which you might like to see it appear. Um, a quick measure with a ruler is the easiest way to check on sizes, providing the outer size and shape conform. Your panels within the comic can vary in size and shape if that's the feel you want. So yeah, depending on what sort of shape you want to do, this is where I mostly get stuck with things. So before you send examples of your handiwork to an editor, make sure it is going to fit snugly into their publication. Okay. Oops, sorry, bumping the camera a lot. Once you've decided on the characters, the story, the shape, and size, you're ready to start drawing almost. Very few, if any, artists draw to size, but by that I mean few draw their cartoons or comic strips the size that they appear when they are published. It is much easier to draw them a size that you feel comfortable with than have them reduced to the size required. You will find you can get a clean, crisper line that way, and your eyes and hand won't give out on you midway through the cartoon. But how can you be sure that when your drawing is reduced, it will be the shape and size you want it to be? Here's how. Start by start by lightly drawing a shape and size you want in the left hand corner um, of your page. Okay, let me just try that one again. Start lightly drawing the shape and size you want in the bottom left hand corner of your page. That's better. Next, run a diagonal line from corner to corner, extending it to the area in which you want to draw. Extend the left-hand side line and the base line of your original box. The point where the horizontal and vertical lines meet with the dialogue line will form an exact enlargement of that original box. So yeah, I mean this is pretty technical for me. I don't know. I think it's like if you're drawing comics or pictures digitally, it'll be a lot easier to sort of manipulate the sizes. But ideally, what we were taught at uni was if you're drawing, um, make sure the image is like way bigger than you think you'll need it, because you can always shrink an image, but if you blow it up, it'll look really pixelated and horrible, unless it's a vector, which a vector image, which is something else different entirely. But yeah, I'll get into that at some stage. Oh hell, I'll just explain it now because yeah, since I'm on the topic, I'm liable to forget. So basically, a there's a difference between a raster image and a vector image. A raster image is your typical JPG and PNG. A vector is drawn with mathematics. So you can shrink the image really small and blow it up really big, and it will not distort it. Like it's just how it is. And so it's quite cool to there's programs like Adobe Illustrator, I think Adobe Animate or Adobe Flash, it's the same program pretty much. They use vector as well. So yeah, just something to keep in mind. Krita, which is the one I use for animation, that uses raster. So the lines that you draw are quite pixelated. Photoshop is a raster based tool, so just keep that in mind. It depends on what you want to do. There are various other sort of cartoon drawing tools out there. Some can be quite expensive. One I'm looking into is Clip Art Studio or Toon Boom Harmony. I would like to be able to purchase that in future, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so yeah, the point where all three lines meet. So that's there, and then size of original drawing. And note, remember that not only the size of your lines are reduced, but their thickness is as well. Okay, so if you draw your lines too thinly, that can also distort the drawing if you shrink it down. So make sure, if you're drawing sort of, I don't know, it depends. You might be able to do it a lot easier if you're using a digital program. Okay, so we're up to panel by panel. I think I'm going to leave it there because we're already reaching on to 12 minutes. I'm trying to keep these relatively short. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one as always, and I'll see you in the next one.